the old studio was literally one room that we rented out, that we painted blue, and we put a desk in there, and that was it. And there was barely any AC at all. And
we
then
said, "Look at me."
In order to not hear everything else going on in the building, we had to shut all the doors, all the windows, and so there was no airflow, and it killed you. Welcome back to the PM Podcast. I'm Aaron. This is Blake.
How you doing?
And today we are talking about the new studio.
Yeah.
Over the past couple weeks, you guys have seen a lot of new sets.
It's been awesome.
It has been. And so today we're going to kind of explain how, where, why,
Who?
and all the things above. But before we go into that, how you been, buddy?
Good.
This is honestly the first time we've had to actually sit down and talk to each other, just like casually.
Pretty much. Yep.
Because usually when we come to set, like it's go, 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 and we don't stop until we like dinner. Usually.
And by that point, our mouths are full of food.
Exactly.
So we can't really talk.
Exactly.
Plus, I don't want him talking with his mouth full.
He hates that. You absolutely hate that. That's in general, though. That's most people, right?
I would hope so.
No, I mean, like, that's just most people that you have that issue with.
Yes.
Yeah.
Very much so.
Yeah. So what you been up to? Just keeping busy or?
Just keeping busy, man. Planning.
Yeah. Planning.
Oh, yeah.
All the wedding stuff.
All the wedding stuff.
When is that? This comes out in... This is the third week. So this episode will come out like 3 weeks before your wedding.
Oh, shoot. Really?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So if it's okay. Today.
Well, we better be just about done.
Today you're, July 20th. So I mean, yeah. When this episode releases, you'll only be like 3 weeks out from your wedding.
Wow. Holy moly.
You excited?
I am excited. Like, today is 67 days until the wedding.
Yeah. Seems
67.
It's wild.
It was funny when I first heard the countdown. She goes, "Babe, we got 69 days left." I was like, 69. It's a great number.
Now, you guys obviously don't live together, but that's because of her. Like, she believed in not living together before.
Yeah, and I mean, I agree with it.
Mm-hmm.
I have not seen a whole lot of marriage. At least, doesn't mean it doesn't work.
Right.
It's like, but it's like they talk about how that you should be best friends first, right? Mm-hmm. All that stuff is like, but you learn how to live with each other while you're married. A lot. I mean, like, that's just what I've been told. And
yeah.
Like, there's so many different ways you can do it. I don't believe there's a right or wrong way of doing it. That's just the more older fashioned way of doing it. I mean, there's nothing wrong with living with someone before you marry them. I don't see that being a problem at all.
Right.
Some people believe in the whole, you got to try it before you buy it.
Well, to be completely honest with you, I don't know how well me and my wife would be doing if we didn't live together first.
See, and everyone's a little bit different when it comes to it.
Yeah, because for us, it was the first time I'd ever really lived with somebody and had like my own adult responsibilities. And, but on top of that, it was like, okay, well, I gotta be a grown ass man about this. Like, but she had peeves with me and I had peeves with her. And so if we hadn't lived together before we got married, I don't think we would not be as good as we are right now. So, but it's all, like I said, it boils down to personal preference and what you believe in.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, granted, is like, I didn't want, as much as I would love for her to be living with me right now, it would just make things so much easier.
But you guys do spend the night with each other like quite a bit, right?
From time to time we will. I've lessened it quite a bit.
Have you?
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Well, the main part is because sometimes I cannot control myself
Oh, you're just too horny?
I just get the urge way too much, and I say, you know what? I'm just going to go back to my place.
Like, I want to have sex with you so bad, I can't be around you.
And it's like, this just can't happen tonight.
Oh yeah, for those of you listening, they also took a stay of abstinence until their wedding.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, because we want to have as much of a godly relationship as we can. And yes, just because you messed up in the past, like for us, we felt we messed up in the past, right? We didn't practice that in the very beginning. But we talked about it and we said, you know what, we're going to do this. And we actually did it starting on my birthday of all days.
Yeah, but okay, be honest with them though. You've had slip-ups. We
have had slip-ups.
Here's the thing. There's no such thing as a perfect human. There was only one, right?
That's right.
So it's like, shit happens.
We just ask for forgiveness and keep pushing forward.
Or thrusting forward in some situations.
Well, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't be laughing at that, but I am.
No, I mean, it's funny.
It is funny.
If you don't laugh, I mean, come on. It is funny to think about, like, wait, you could always try anal sex. It's the sex that God can't see. Oh man,
that stunk really bad. Like, you shouldn't have said that.
It does stink.
It does, very much so. I wouldn't know though.
You wouldn't? You never had anal sex?
Nope.
Just because you haven't wanted to, or dang, just because you haven't. Yeah, just because you haven't wanted to, or just something that no girl has ever let you.
Yes.
To both.
No, I mean, like, I've always been curious.
Oh, about anal sex?
Yeah, like, okay, well, I'm curious. But at the same time, I always think about, like, would I want the same thing?
Yeah, but if you get a girl that likes it, it's an experience.
But no, I mean, I've had a couple slip-ups.
What, you like pulled out and slipped in the wrong hole?
And didn't realize, like, honestly, I didn't realize until they go, ugh.
Oh, that's funny. Oh my gosh.
But at that point, like, I was still, like, I was in so much shock at the point, like, oh crap.
You're like, oh god. But you didn't just keep going?
No.
Oh. You didn't feel like any like friction? Like any pushback?
No.
I mean, it's not easy getting in there most of the time.
I mean, unless you're already lubed up from...
Fair enough. Then you just like...
Yep.
You got a wet boho, apparently. Just right in. Oh.
But no, that's... yeah, so September 26th.
Is the day. So any because this is, I was just talking about, actually, when we did talk when you got here, I was just telling you how if you guys were true OGs and watched the podcast when we first started, you, my friend, said that you weren't getting married anytime soon.
That's right. And the good Lord said, wait until you read this story.
Yeah, you that changed pretty quickly.
It really did.
I partially kind of put it on the previous relationship.
Could be.
I think you viewed it like that simply because the relationship that you were in wasn't really healthy.
Yeah.
And so you just kind of like, man, if I keep getting girls like this, like I'm never... And it's no offense to her.
No, she's a great woman.
You both had stuff to work on.
Yeah.
And you guys just weren't meant to be.
I just wasn't happy. That's
right.
Literally what it boiled down to was I wasn't happy, and she was a great girl, and she deserves the best when it comes to it, and I don't think I would have been able to give that to her.
Right, and that's what I mean. So it's like, but being in that situation, it kind of puts you in a place where you're like, man, I don't think I'm ever going to get married right now, like anytime soon, realistically.
Yeah, and well, at the time, I really was not in that mindset. Just because of that's exactly what I thought.
Right.
And that kind of changed pretty quick.
Changed very quickly, because and And yeah, so you got married, or no, you got married. How long did you guys date before you asked her to marry you?
So we officially.
When did you start dating, and how long did you date before you proposed?
So let's see. So in June, I would say mid-June, is when I thought we were officially dating, which she was making the joke. Like we both were on the same page, but I never really asked her.
Oh.
So I never really asked her until July 4th.
So it was, what, 6 months before you got engaged?
Yep. So July 4th is our official.
And you proposed at the end of January.
January 25th.
Yeah. Yeah, so you proposed at the end of January, and then you're getting, man, it's all moving quick. Less than 2 years.
Oh, yeah.
Like a year and a half? Yeah, actually, yeah, exactly. No, not exactly. No,
which is unlike
exactly a year and a half.
Yeah, which is unlike me.
That's very unlike you.
I do not move fast.
No, you don't. Yeah.
In a lot of things.
Yeah, it is surprising. But that's a whole nother episode, because we can go into that. Actually, you know what? We'll go into that after you're married, when you come back from your honeymoon.
Ooh.
Because that'll be fun to talk about on the podcast. Because you'll not have to abstain anymore, finally.
Who knows? Maybe I'll be more relaxed.
You definitely will be. But so let's get into the studio and talk about that. But first, we want to let you know that the PM podcast is supported by Circle City Tent. You ever have those days where you sit in your car and you burn your booty? Or your seats start to fade because the UV radiation is just tearing up your car? Well, don't worry. Circle City sticks it where the sun shines with their window tint. Yes, that's right. You can get your car window tinted for just $169. That gives you any shade they have and a lifetime warranty. For more information, call 317-788-8468 and get your window tint today. You ever have to deal with those blistering summers or those harsh cold winters? Well, Circle City Tent offers the best in remote starts, bringing to you their top-of-the-line Arctic Start. This device can go on almost any vehicle and starts out at just $249.99 plus tax. And that does also include a lifetime warranty and 2 key fobs for you, just in case you ever lose one. So, with that being said, all you got to do is call them. Have your remote start. Give yourself the perfect climate in your car at any time of the year, especially living in Indiana, that you never get a good weather ever. It's always really cold or really hot.
You can never have the perfect climax.
So, like I said, call 317-788-8468 to set up your appointment and get your remote start today.
Is it really a lifetime?
It really is a lifetime warranty.
That's awesome.
Yeah. So once again, 317-788-8468 or go to www.circlecitytent.com. Now back to the PM podcast. Alrighty, we're jumping into the studio, talking about the sets, talking about how we like it, if we like it, how do we do it?
Well, we set it up. They did a great job.
First of all, actually, for those of you watching this episode, I gotta fix this real quick. All right. For those of you that are watching this episode, you kind of notice that we're definitely not, like, if you've watched the past few podcasts, it's a different studio, a different set. And this may not be the permanent set. This is just the only room left we had in the
yeah, but that's okay. I enjoy the couches.
I do. They're comfy. But let's go into, let's go into what your perspective of it was, because you didn't really know that we were expanding it until we had that meeting, and then we talked about potentially making it bigger, and then by the time that had already happened, we were already like setting shit up.
Yeah. So
what do you think of the new studios, or the new studio and the new sets? I can't say set anymore.
No, I was gonna say, it was like that. I don't know, the fact that, like, we'll get done with an episode, and then, like, the next day when we come in, I'm not going to the same studio. I don't know. To me, it was like, that's a little interesting.
It's like a change of pace.
Yeah, just because, like, we're so used to going to the exact same studio every single time.
Same room.
Every single day.
Yeah.
It's just different topics. And now it's not only different topics, different room. I mean, and some rooms are a little bit more comfortable than the others. Some rooms are a little bit more warmer than others.
It's true. Ooh, man. Remember our old studio? We were dying. Okay, so we don't really show it a whole lot because you don't really see the bloopers. But in the old studio, it was basically just the old studio was literally one room that we rented out, that we painted blue, and we put a desk in there, and that was it. And there was barely any AC at all. And
we
then
said, "Look at me."
In order to not hear everything else going on in the building, we had to shut all the doors, all the windows, and so there was no airflow, and it killed you.
Imagine if somebody farted while we were on set.
Oh man, and it was a tiny room. I mean, this room that we're in right now is like 4 times the size of what the original studio was.
Yes. So much so.
Oh my gosh. And the biggest problem that we ran into was we were very limited on what we could do. Now granted, it was just a podcast, so we didn't really have to do much.
Right.
But we knew when we sat down to talk about expanding, we knew that studio was not going to suffice.
No. Not at all.
And it wasn't going to be enough. So the biggest thing that we ran into was like, okay, well, where do we go? Because I think the initial concept was we were going to take it and turn it into a daily show. I think that's kind of what we wanted to do because we wanted to reach a broader audience. So there was 3 criteria that we wanted to keep in order to keep the show going. We needed to make it more family friendly to broaden the audience. We needed to make a daily or some kind of show that wasn't the podcast that people could reach and watch quickly. And then we also wanted to keep the podcast because we still enjoy talking to each other and sharing stories and stuff like that. That's kind of how me and you became really good friends.
Yeah, and it actually gave us not only gave us the opportunity, it gives us an excuse.
Yeah, it gives us well, honestly, this whole show gives us an excuse to hang out. Because, like, off camera, we'll give you a little behind the scenes. So off camera, me and Blake really don't have a whole lot of time to hang out at all. He's doing his own venture. I'm doing this, and outside of this, we also do if you go to our website or whatever, like we do digital marketing and graphic design. So that's a whole other division of my company that does that. And so for us to really get together, it's almost impossible.
Yeah, it's very hard.
And so, like, I think, like, we try to plan one day a month to where we can go golfing and cut up, which we haven't done yet.
I was gonna say, speaking of that, we need to do that.
We
soon.
need to do that. But yeah, so like, we try to get together, but the Monday is like, it's serious, and we have to be professional, and we have to get the stuff done. But when the cameras aren't rolling, we're pretty much just goofing off the whole time.
Pretty much.
But it's fun. I mean, it's kind of what we like to do because we've become friends on the podcast, and by just sitting in a room and talking, and it gave us an excuse to hang out.
Yeah.
And so when we expanded it, we were like, okay, we have to keep the podcast.
Pretty much, you're just watching us hang out.
It's pretty much what it is. Yeah, you're watching us hang out for everyone to see. But but yeah, so. Anyways, why we expanded it? Well, we were talking about why we expanded. We wanted to bring a wider audience, something that you could watch with your family, your grandparents, whatever, and not really have to worry about it. I mean, there are some cussing and there's some minor innuendos here and there, but realistically, I mean, it's not anywhere near as bad as what we were doing before.
No.
But, I mean, like I said,
not at all.
For those of you that love the original content, trust me, we are still that dirty-minded in real life. Like, we just tone it down just a tad to where we don't get demonetized.
Just watch the bloopers.
Yeah.
And you'll understand.
We're actually probably towards the end of season 2, we'll release a blooper reel from all the seasons, or all the season 2, and you'll see what we mean. It's rough. Anyway, I have a potty mouth. I really do. You hardly cuss at all. But anyway,
I have my moments.
We're rabbit trailing. Anyway, or rabbit holing. Rabbit trailing? I think it's rabbit
Rabbit
holing.
pellets?
We're going
I
down
don't
the
know.
rabbit hole. Anyway, let's talk about the studio.
It's bigger,
It is way bigger.
and I love it.
If you're wondering what we mean by bigger, we bought a house. Didn't buy a house. We rent a house. So we wanted we wanted to stay in the area that we were at. I'm not going to tell you where we are because that's stupid, but we wanted to stay in the general area. We were on the north side of Indianapolis. I can say that. That's very broad. So we're on the wait, hold on. You can go on our website and look at our P.O. box, right? Yeah. Okay. So we're located in Zionsville, Indiana. And so we were in Zionsville and we wanted to stay close to Zionsville.
Yep.
That was the main goal. And so we found a house that was for rent and we rented the house. So we basically right now we're sitting in the living room, or what is now the podcast. But this is also like a hangout area. It's just like, you come in, you hang, like if we're setting up, this is kind of like a green room for people that if we're filming something else.
Yep.
And you guys have seen the kitchen, which is right there. And that is the set of No Book Cooks, which was a creation by our producer, Ellen, or my wife, Ellen. And she was like, well, wouldn't it be funny if you guys just cooked stuff? And I was like, yeah, what have we had in our recipe? And she's like, oh my God, did we just come up with a segment? And I'm like, yes, we did. So we wanted to bring you guys different segments. And in order to do that, we expanded the studio exponentially.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So go ahead. What was you going to say?
No, I mean, like, not only is it bigger, it's a lot nicer.
It is.
Because
yeah.
we can actually put our own spin to it.
True.
It's like we were fortunate enough to be able to I think about, what about for this room we do this, or
yeah,
it's just one of it's just one of those things like, oh, finally we don't have to do everything in one little room. I love it.
Right, yeah, because really we once we chose the design of the first studio, we were very limited on what we could do.
We couldn't change it very much.
No, I mean, as you guys saw, actually one thing we always did, if you guys haven't seen it, it's pretty cool. We always changed that little column behind us. The column that's in the new studio, is that we always changed something on that column. It always changed.
What's funny is that we're like, well, we can control this part.
Yeah, exactly. So if you guys do want to go back and watch, find the little Easter eggs, it's kind of fun. We also changed the wall art and stuff, but that was just casual stuff. But now, so we have, how many sets do we have? We have 1, 2, 3. Wait, no. We have the main studio, Between the Sheets, the kitchen,
1, 2,
and PM
3,
podcast.
4.
Yeah, so we have 4 sets.
4 sets.
4 sets, 1 conference room, an office, and a green room. So we have 4 sets.
And a part tree and a pear tree.
We do have a prop room. So so if you look at the layout of the house, we have a prop room. We have an office. Then we have the main studio, the Between the Sheets studio, the storage room, and then we have the office, the PM podcast set, conference table. It's really a conference room, but it's a conference table. And then we have we turn the garage into a wood shop. So if you ever see props and stuff that have been built, it's built out there. And then we have a little hangout for people in the sunroom, and then we have a patio that we actually put in because we have office parties and stuff that we have out there, and people can hang out and do all that kind of stuff.
And the neighbors are confused.
Yes, but that's kind of we wanted to. How do I say this? We wanted to create a bigger show. We wanted to step up our game when it came to entertainment because we knew we could. If you watch the podcast on season 1, the quality just wasn't the best. No. It just wasn't. But that's because we just started out. It was the first thing we did. And then Potty Mouth Fear Factor was probably the biggest undertaking we have ever taken as a company and as a show. We did it right when COVID happened. So it was like everything just compiled against itself and just made it all worse.
It's like, yay!
But we were able to get it done. We had a lot of great people. We had a good team behind us, just helping us get it done. And we were able to film it all. The last episode comes out this Friday, or well, you guys won't see. But when we're filming this, the last episode's about to air. So, it's been a wild ride to do that. And then, it's like, okay, well, we've really stepped up our game for Fear Factor. We need to come out swinging with season 2.
Yep.
And that's kind of why, if you're watching this, it says episode 120, I think. Yeah, episode 120 of the podcast, and it's episode 130 of the show. And that's simply because, or 130 something, it's like 134. But we did that because if you watch all of season 1, it was a podcast. We had 117 episodes of a podcast that you could watch if you wanted to, but it was primarily for listening.
Yep. And
then we switched it in season 2 to make it a daily show. So instead of starting from ground one and doing the Potty Mouth Show season 1, because if you watch the end of the Potty Mouth season, if you watch the end of the first season, it's technically a show at that point. Like the last 10 episodes is a daily show. And so starting out on season 2, we're not going to start from zero. We're just going to continue on and continue to grow the content and be more creative and upgrade the quality of the content.
Yeah. And I think every single time we do, it's getting a little bit better and better.
Every single time. Yeah, I would 100% agree.
We're just learning as we go.
Yeah, exactly. And we have more people that are coming on to help. We're making a
which very grateful for.
Holy cow. It is so helpful having people here, because when it was the first season, it started out with just me and him.
Yep.
and actually that was it, just me and you, and then anybody that wanted to help. And then about halfway through, not even halfway through, a little less than halfway through, we started getting people coming in. I brought in my accountant one time to help. But so we started bringing people in to help, and then towards the end of season 1, we had a pretty good, I say pretty good crew. I mean, it wasn't really, it was like 3-4 people, but we had enough people helping out to where it was, really, really beneficial to us, to help us keep us calm and keep us in the creative mindset. And now I feel like we're doing pretty well.
Yep.
We move pretty fluently. We don't really have a lot of obstructions. Like, we can just stay in that creative mindset and be funny and goofy on camera and have a good time, but still maintain the level of professionalism that we need to.
Yep.
But yeah, I think the studio has really opened up a lot of doors for us, and being able to expand like we did, because and as you guys are watching now, the PM Podcast is its own brand. The Potty Mouth Show has its own brand. If you guys remember the first logo, that was just something we threw together real quick to kind of put it out there. But I think this is something that I'm definitely very proud of. Yeah. To say that I'm a part of, because it's just, it's a family, and we're starting to create some really, really good stuff, in my opinion.
Yeah, and just looking back and watching some of it.
Oh my God.
I mean, I crack up still.
Well, and if you watch the old stuff, it's like night and day. Like if you watch the very first episode of Potty Mouth Show, or Potty Mouth season 1, and then watch the first episode of Potty Mouth Show, the Potty Mouth Show season 2, it's night and day. There's no similarities. It is
completely different.
Insane how drastic the changes are. But I even think the second week of the show went better than the first one, as far as the editing, as far as the content, as far as the camera work. Just really, really good stuff. And more to come. So
it helps when you have help.
It does. It helps to have help. But yeah, I guess I think that's it.
Yeah. No, there's not a whole lot more you can say, because besides the fact that sometimes we kind of weird out our neighbors because
they wonder what we're doing.
Well, a lot of times you'll just see a lot of people come over, and
They're like, wow, they always having a party? It's like, kind of.
And then they see both of us out there all the time, so I feel like they think we live here.
Yeah, I think we're a gay couple or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or something.
People think we're gay. We say, I'm like, dude, you're getting married. No offense to anybody that's gay. We're not gay.
Nope.
Although write us some fan fiction, we'll read it on camera. Send it to our P.O. box. It's on our website, www.pottymouthshow.com. But yeah, cool. That's it for this episode of the PM Podcast, guys. If you like this episode, make sure to like and subscribe wherever you get your podcast, iTunes, Spotify, or you can watch it here on YouTube. If you are watching it here on YouTube, make sure to like this video so we can keep bringing you fun, silly, goofy content like this. With that being said, we love you all, and we will see you next time on the PM Podcast.